Almost to the day, 4 years after the 2.0 update of Animal Crossing, when it's been months that everybody was expecting a teaser about the next Animal Crossing, Nintendo releases the 3.0 update and Switch 2 edition, releasing January 15th, 2026. Is that really what people wanted? Is that the good timing? Let's dive in. My name is Joëlle, and on this Fluff'isle channel I'm talking about cozy gaming and mostly about the game Hello Kitty Island Adventure, but I want to say that I played for over 1500 hours of Animal Crossing, even though not much in the last 3 years. And I also want to mention that I do not own a Switch 2 yet. So now let's dive in with all that was announced. First, let's talk about the Switch 2 update. Obviously, enhanced graphics, I should hope so. And then you can use the Joy-Con mouse in decorating. Not the most useful, but for bulletin board messages and specifically custom designs, I think that will be a very good help compared to a controller. Then you can buy a megaphone to use the built-in microphone in your Switch 2 to call in your villagers. Is that really useful? Is that not a bit gimmicky? Is that also a security risk that your Switch will listen to you all the time just for once you call your villagers? Then you can now raise the total number of people on an island from 8 to 12. Okay, I guess it will be faster than before, like the traveling, but I've been on 8 people islands. It took more than half an hour for people to come in and to leave, and it was so annoying. So imagine 12 people, even if the time is cut down in half. Will you really want to go through all that? Then the 2 new things from the Switch 2 is the game chat, that you can talk with your friends, and that is definitely the thing that I think would be the most useful. Noting that if you're 12 people on the island, that might be a little bit too crazy if people are talking all at the same time, but that is the most useful thing I see. And having your face at the top of your character, first of all, it would never look like that. So nice, everybody with the good light on a white background. Of course not, you'll be on your couch so far away from your camera, it won't look like that at all. It would be so stupid and not useful, and I doubt anyone will want to do that. This is why you do avatars. You don't have to see your friend's face, you have their avatar already, right? And apparently this new update will be a paid upgrade for people who already own Animal Crossing New Horizon on Switch 1 and upgraded to Switch 2, but you will also apparently be able to pay the full game to get it on Switch 2, and we have no idea how much it is yet. Now they announced the 3.0 update that is free for everybody, and that has some quality of life update and some new collabs and new features. So let's review all of them. There's now a resort hotel on your island with a new currency, the hotel tickets, and you can buy new exclusive items, and you can also get more of those hotel tickets by doing some kind of crafting request from Tom Nook. Is that really interesting? And in the hotel you will actually decorate the rooms for new villagers to come in. Are they your villagers or new villagers? I'm not sure about that. But isn't that exactly the gameplay that we had in Happy Home Paradise in the paid DLC that they're now adding for free 4 years later? And we need to redo the whole thing all over again? Really? Now let's talk about the quality of life updates. There's Resetti that will help you clean up decorations of flowers or even custom designs, and you can use it to remove things on the beach, on one area or the whole island. So I think it's really cool for people who want to redo a whole area or want to flatten your island. It will be a lot faster. You can now upgrade your storage up to 9,000 items, and before it was only 5,000. Since they added a lot more items and the fact that you can now put your flowers, trees and shrubs inside of your storage, that means that it's necessary for more storage, so that just makes sense. That's very cool because I always had to store my shrubs somewhere else on the island when they were out of season, and I also had tons of big areas with rare flowers that I did not want to delete in case somebody needed them, but also I did not want on my island anymore, so that's perfect. One cool thing is that you can put an outfit on a mannequin to quickly yourself or your friend turn into that specific outfit, and also have your villagers try that outfit, and I think it's a very cool idea. Now there's the new dream world. You can decorate your slumber island with your items. You can also terraform and put trees and also add bridges and inclines. Is that all for free? I'm not sure, but it looks like it would be instantaneous and free. You can also invite your own villagers, but only the ones that you have on your island apparently. You can select the time of day and weather, apparently not season if we look at what they said. And each player can have up to 3 slumber islands. And you can choose small, medium or large islands with 4 choices. And one cool thing is that you can decorate and terraform together with your friends. So the fact that you can now have more islands with your own save means that for people who had bought switches or gotten switches just to have more islands, this is now solved. And if you also have flattened your island to start a new theme, you also won't have to do that again. But how many people does that really affect, percentage-wise, from the main people playing Animal Crossing? The really cool thing is the decorating and terraforming together, because before you could not even move a furniture when somebody was here, and that's a real use. But I feel that it's really in reaction of the new games that have been announced recently, especially Floatopia. Okay, it was announced a year ago, but you can see the exact same scene with people terraforming and decorating together than they have done here in Animal Crossing. Then they also mentioned collaborations. So you can now get Nintendo items like old consoles and things like that. And they're not that pretty. I don't know if you think that it will be useful for your island, but I don't really see myself using that. And you can also play retro games on each of the consoles, only if you have Nintendo Switch Online. Why is that something that is required to be paid, to be played? And also, will you play more than once after you've just, oh, this is cool, let's try it? Will you do that regularly? I don't really think so. This is just a cool, fun thing, but really. Then they have the Lego items, and those actually look quite cool. And then they have the Zelda and Splatoon characters. And they mentioned amiibos, so I think that you will have to buy the amiibos for bringing them in the game. But for both Splatoon and Zelda, all the clothing and furniture and items and everything all look super cool. So I think this is a new cool range of things they added. And the new characters that you can add also top notch. But now the question is that really what we needed, what we expected? For me, this really looks like, oh my god, we need to put something together quickly. Let's quickly do collabs with our own IPs. Okay, Lego is a cool one. But other than that, let's put our own other IPs in this game. Let's quickly copy paste the thing from our DLC that we did 4 years ago. And also we have this new console now. Oh, those are the new items that work in the console. Let's just put the minimum that works with this old game. So for me, it sounds like rushed together and just we had to do this, so here's something. But I feel that a lot of people loved Animal Crossing. Like me, it was one of my top 5 games ever, and we played so much of it, and then we slowly stopped playing, and now we're just ready for the next Animal Crossing to come. And since I bought my Switch for Animal Crossing, I will also probably buy my Switch 2 for the next Animal Crossing. And I know that technically it is too early for the next Animal Crossing game to come, because they had an 8 years gap in between the last 2 Animal Crossings, and we're only at 5 years. But Is that really what we were waiting for? Nothing for 4 years and then something. If that kind of content was released maybe 1 or 2 years after the last 2.0 update, maybe it would have kept people engaged. But now 4 years without anything, I don't think that this content is good enough to bring people back to the game. I don't know if it's actually their goal or not. Just to, hey, we're still here. Well, we had to do that for the Switch too, but you know, here's something. Because the 2.0 update was so big, and that is not even half of the content that we had for 2.0, and so it just sounds cheap and lazy again. Just to recap, in the 2.0 update, we had the Roost Cafe with Brewster, we have cabin boat tours, and we have Harv's Island Plaza with tons of new shops. We had cooking and farming, and there were also new things like the Girards and the ceiling decor. Tons of new big content that really people went back to do it, lots of things in the game. Now, will you just go back to actually decorate some cabins? And maybe start over more islands in the new dream world, but really. But the question is, why now? It's been a few months since the Switch 2 was released, and they kind of need to upgrade all their old good Switch games for the Switch 2. So maybe it was expected, and to not seem too greedy for making people pay for that update, they said let's give also free stuff with it, maybe. Also, it does not look like it's things that were planned for the last 4 years. Let's work on this big update and release that for them here. No, it just looks like, what can we quickly give them? Let's see. Now my questions are, what does it mean now and this? Does it mean that they will only start now working on the next Animal Crossing? Will it still come in the next couple of years, like we can expect, like in 2027, 2028? We don't know. Is that in reaction of the new, free, apparently super beautiful and good cozy games coming in the market from China, like Flowtopia, Animal Anouk, Petit Planet, that have recently been announced, while we heard nothing of Animal Crossing in the past 4 years? Maybe. That's very interesting timing, because last week I was filming this big essay video about how the next Animal Crossing game is in trouble because of all these new games coming up that will be free and tons of updates and beautiful and everything, and that the previous business model of Animal Crossing will not work in this ecosystem, and so now we have this information. So I don't think it changes anything to my video, so I'll just add a tiny snippet of it and you'll see it next week, and I will link it at the end of the video when it will be ready. But I want to hear from you. Are you excited? Are you disappointed? Tell me what you think about this 3.0 update of Animal Crossing New Horizons in the comments down below, and click on the video over here if it's there, and I want to see you there. And remember, everybody can play cozy. Bye bye!